I have two incredible daughters. They're 24 and 25.
Good.
How do you how do you counsel parents regarding the attachment we have to our children? And how do how do you deal with that? How you just so want their happiness, how you so want them to see things the way you do, and they're just not there yet. And then when you try to help,
Mm,
you're like the bad person in the room, you know.
of course. I would imagine, Tony, that we human beings have been asking a question like that since we carried clubs and wore animal skins and lived in caves. The thing is, and it's the hardest to understand because presently it's the least accessible action we know to take, is that I can't help anybody without being an example myself. It's impossible. If I have a reaction to my sister, my brother, my children, my wife, if I have a reaction and that reaction is always based in some kind of resistance, I can't have that resistance without feeling as how some way or another, my child or that person or this position, this condition, has challenged my shelter. We don't think that our expectations of our children don't really shelter them, but they shelter us in a certain identity that we hope they will one day understand and embrace. I can tell you personally that the way I understand any of these moments where someone, whether it's a child, and certainly those kind of relationships, a child, a brother, a mother, a father, those are the most easily triggered because we are brought into the shelter of some family, the shelter of our environment, the shelter of our conditioning. But in those moments, instead of trying to protect the shelter or to prove that it's viable, to stand as best I'm able as a witness to all of that movement within myself that by the very observation, Tony, proves that I don't have what I imagine I have, that I can't control the things I want to control. And I have to, if I honestly see that, I have to let go of Guy. I have to let go of his insistence. I have to let go of whatever demands live in me that are sheltering me from people who don't do what I want them to do. And in those moments, I have to give something up, Tony. Not control something, not change someone, not wish that things were other than they are. It quite literally requires a sacrifice, Tony. And what's so irritating about most of that action of sacrifice is that we only do things so people know we've done them. So if I make a sacrifice for my children, by God, I want them to know I made that sacrifice. I don't want them to think that I'm just sitting there looking at them with like a doe in the headlights, you know. But I'm too busy being present to myself to try to figure out how to change you. Because if I really do that, I'll learn something about myself that will change me. And in being changed, that change changes my relationship with my children, even if they don't see it yet. Then I'm growing, to use that word. Then I am deliberately abandoning all of all of the things that I hold to be so true and necessary that people understand and believe what I believe. And all of that goes out the window because I see it was all imagined and belongs to a self that tries to protect it. And then I'm left in the shelter of what will seem for a long time to be nothing. But it's in that very nothingness, Tony, that is the gateway. It is the real relationship with what is and our entrance into it if we're willing to go that far. I hope that helps a little bit, Tony. Look, it's work. They don't call this the party. They call this the work. And it's the work because it requires that we do something, to give something, in order to see something, and in essence, then to be changed into something new.